Picture this. It's Monday morning, maybe 2026. You're grabbing coffee. The usual, you talk about the game last night, the project deadline. Except the coworker you're talking to is a Neanderthal. And the skyscraper you're in, its foundations, famous for being impossibly strong, were laid by a Neanderthal engineering firm. That idea has been living rent-free in my head for about 2 weeks now, because for almost all of our history, Earth was a multi-human planet. The fossil record shows this fascinating, messy time when we weren't the only humans around. But in our timeline, something happened. Everyone else vanished, and only one species, Homo sapiens, made it through. But what if that wasn't a clean break? What if, through some quirk of history, all the major human species had survived, adapted, and were living right now, alongside us? This isn't a story about cavemen in a modern world. This is a thought experiment about parallel humanities, each with their own cognitive strengths, building a global society that is both deeply integrated and dangerously fractured. It's a world where the word humanity suddenly has more than one definition, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized how strange and humbling that world would be. So, to even begin to build this world, you have to understand the players. And this isn't a hierarchy, it's a mosaic of different kinds of intelligence. Let's start with the obvious one, the one I walked in with, Homo sapiens, us. If we have an evolutionary superpower, it's the ability to create these vast, abstract networks. We build nations, corporations, and religions around ideas that exist only in our shared imagination. It's how we connect with millions of people we'll never meet. Then you have the Neanderthals. In our hypothetical 2026, let's imagine their brains, similar in size to ours, but organized differently, give them this incredible mastery of the tangible world. They have an unparalleled capacity for what you could call deep local intimacy. They just get materials, tools, and the dynamics of small, tight-knit groups. Their societies, maybe in a Neanderthal union in Europe and North America, are built around communities where physical presence and proven trust mean more than any abstract authority. Out on the high-altitude plateaus, the Himalayas, the Andes, live the Denisovans. We only know them from a few fragments of Dekaye, but one of those fragments gave modern Tibetans their adaptation to high altitudes. Let's take that clue and run with it. In this world, a Denisovan high-altitude confederacy has used that biological gift to become pioneers of aerospace and extreme environment survival. Their culture is one of endurance and a deep connection to the mountains they call home. And on the other end of the physical spectrum, you've got Homo floresiensis, the hobbits. Their small size was likely an adaptation to island life on Flores. So, in our 2026, they run an island archipelago league in Southeast Asia. They're masters of marine biology and sustainable tech, with a culture that values ecological balance above everything else. Finally, you have the great walkers, Homo erectus and Homo heidelbergensis. As some of the first hominins to spread across the whole globe, their legacy in this world is one of endurance and large-scale infrastructure. They're the backbone of long-distance transport and resource management. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting. In a world with this many kinds of human, society wouldn't be one size fits all. It would have to be custom-built. Walk through a global megacity, and you'd see it instantly. The skyline would be a dialogue. You'd have the soaring glass and steel towers designed by sapiens architects, monuments to abstract finance. Right next to these broad, powerful stone and wood structures, engineered by Neanderthals, famous for their focus on communal plazas and physical gathering spaces. The whole global economy would run on this cognitive specialization. A sapiens strategist might map out a global logistics plan, but it's the erectus-led consortiums who actually manage the continent-spanning transport networks. A Denisovan team might design the alloys for a new spacecraft, but it's Neanderthal manufacturers who forge them with this incredible precision. Meanwhile, Homo floresiensis bioengineers are developing sustainable aquaculture that feeds entire nations without destroying the oceans. Technology itself would fracture. Sapiens would lead in software, AI, virtual reality, the tech of the abstract. But Neanderthals would be the masters of material science, creating tools and composites that last for centuries, not years. And the real innovation would happen when you put them in a room together. A hybrid team combining Sapiens AI with Neanderthal material science to create smart infrastructure that physically repairs itself. I don't know what to do with that fact, except sit with it for a minute. But here's where it gets genuinely complicated. A world like this is not a utopia. It couldn't be. For every point of cooperation, there's a point of friction. And the biggest source of conflict is what the politicians call the biology border. The map isn't just drawn by nations anymore. It's drawn by species territories, and those borders are cracking. Tensions would flare when sapiens' urban sprawl, driven by abstract market forces, pushes into the ancestral intimacy zones of the Neanderthals, who value deep-rooted, local communities. Building a massive data center in their territory isn't just an intrusion, it's an assault on their way of life. A blast of digital noise in a culture built on physical presence. In Southeast Asia, the conflict is ecological. When sapiens-run corporations expand deep-sea mining, they threaten the delicate ecosystems managed by Homo floresiensis, leading to everything from diplomatic standoffs to eco-sabotage. This all comes down to a fundamental cognitive gap. A sapiens CEO looks at a quarterly report and sees numbers, an abstract reality. A Neanderthal union leader sees the immediate physical impact on their team. A Denisovan leader sees a 1,000-year plan for their mountain home. They're all speaking a different human language, and the translation is often flawed. Racism evolves into speciesism, a prejudice rooted in biology itself. This whole complex web of cooperation and conflict raises a question for me. In a world where your coworker or your leader could be from a different human species, what holds a society together? We've just explored one version of this world. What do you think would be the biggest challenge, or the greatest strength? Let me know in the comments below. But there's another layer to this world, one that makes it even messier and more interesting: the hybrid citizens. For millennia, where human species met, they interbred. In our timeline, it left small genetic traces. In this world, it would be an ongoing reality. Millions of people would be born with mixed heritage: sapiens Neanderthal, sapiens Denisovan, and every combination in between. These individuals are the world's natural diplomats and translators. A person with sapiens and Neanderthal heritage might be able to design a complex, abstract system and also understand its immediate physical impact on a team on the ground. They are living bridges between cognitive worlds, and yet, this is also where the struggle lies. Hybrids would face discrimination from pure-blood factions in every species, seen as untrustworthy or deluded. They'd navigate this incredibly complex identity crisis, belonging to everyone and no one at the same time. And out of that struggle, a powerful new political force would emerge, a new human movement, arguing that the future isn't sapiens or Neanderthal or Denisovan, it's a synthesis of all of them. And that's when I realized the question this thought experiment really asks. A world where we were never alone would be a world of staggering complexity. It wouldn't be a world of us and them, but a world of multiple us's, each with a valid and different way of being human. Our own survival as Homo sapiens was never about being the strongest or the smartest in any absolute sense, but about being adaptable. In this world, the survival of all 7 human species would depend not on superiority, but on an idea that is still radical in our own world: cooperation. The ultimate lesson of this alternate 2026 is that diversity isn't just a social goal, it's an evolutionary strategy. The future of humanity, in all its forms, would depend on recognizing that no single species holds all the answers. The future would have to be multi-species. And here's the thought that's actually been keeping me up since I went down this hole. If becoming human was never one moment, but a collection of behaviors scattered across different species, a process that was never fully finished, then what makes anyone think we're finished now?